In the somewhat overly political correct age and society in which we live today, it's dangerous for anyone to make statements that imply how people are different from each other, even though we're all equal in our own rights and freedoms, or at least should be in a perfect world. One such case is when it comes to gender, and the obvious differences between men and women that some people usually ignore for whatever reason. I'm Mike with List25, and after taking into account various scientific studies and characteristics of the two sexes, we present 25 differences between the sexes that are very real, no matter how hard one of them tries to ignore them or pretend they don't exist. This will go over so well. Oh man, I hate all of these today. Let's start out with the fact that men and women's brains are literally wired differently. Studies show that the male's brain connections run between the front and the back of the same sides of the brain, whereas in women, the connections run from side to side between the left and the right hemispheres of the brain. Males typically have larger brains than females. However, larger does not always or usually mean smarter. IQ tests and aptitude tests show no physical gender bias in overall intelligence. The difference in size has been recently linked to body mass differences. The male brain contains more gray matter, whereas the female brain contains more white matter. White matter basically increases the speed of transmission of all nerve signals, which ultimately allows women to process thoughts more rapidly than their male counterparts. Meanwhile, the frontal lobe, which is responsible for problem solving, and the limbic cortex of the female brain tend to be larger than in males, which appears to provide women with an advantage over men in solving house problems and in emotionality. Because of the larger parietal cortex and amygdala, males generally tend to perform better at reading maps, spatially related tasks, and mathematics. On the other hand, females tend to excel in English and the arts. And finally, to wrap up differences between the brains, women actually have a better sense of smell than men. A recent study found that the female brain has almost 50% more olfactory cells than men. Many studies have proven that differences between men and women are neurological and genetic in origin, and are highly resistant to change via cultural influence. Men use humor as a weapon to attract females, whereas women rarely even try to be funny, which is the main reason why many men think women have no sense of humor at all. When it comes to relationships, there are actually a lot of differences between men and women to take into account, starting where a romance even starts to blossom. Women usually check out a guy discreetly, and even if they decide to flirt or make the first move, he might not even realize it. Many psychologists claim most men are visually oriented, caring less about romance or personal identity. Men can easily separate love and sex. Women experience emotional influences that men do not because of their reproductive capacity, such as menstrual cycles, pregnancy, lactation, and menopause. Recent studies insist that men do not have a strong desire and need for stability, security, and enduring relationships as women do. That won't stop a man being more likely to take charge, however. Surveys have shown that women tend to remember anniversary dates and birthdays more often than men, while men tend to remember dates such as when the mortgage is due. A recent study has been undertaken by MIT to examine whether or not sex differences play a part in leadership qualities and taking a leadership role. Until recently, men have held the majority of leadership positions and have been stereotyped as more effective leaders. So, how does this come into play when a leader is actually needed? How do the two genders handle crisis situations? Well, various studies show that during a time of extreme stress, women tend to react with references to their feelings, while men tend not to react with logic and deductive reasoning, which can bring us to the darker side of things. Perpetrators of a crime are usually males. Females have lower arrest rates than males for virtually all crimes except prostitution, and this appears to be true in all countries for which data is available. And sex differences in suicide have been shown to be significant. There are highly asymmetric rates of attempted and completed suicide between males and females. The gap, also called the gender paradox of suicidal behavior, can vary significantly among countries. Statistics indicate that males die much more often by means of suicide than females. However, reported suicide attempts are 3 times more common among females than males. This paradox is due to the weapon of choice, with females more often using pills and males more often turning to guns, high-rise buildings, or knives. When it comes to education, it's been noted in many instances that sex differences play a major role in educational achievement. However, many thinkers believe this might be caused by sex discrimination in the law, in culture, and society, or may reflect natural differences in the interests of the sexes. Raising a child also comes with major gender differences. Mothers become emotionally attached to their children prior to birth by virtue of carrying the child in their wombs. According to some studies, men won't become emotionally bonded to the child for several months after birth, when the infant begins to smile, respond, and interact with him. Finally, it's highly worth mentioning that men and women are literally built differently. Males are typically taller than females. In terms of height, the average human male is 5'10". Haha, that's me. While the average female is 5'4". This is a result of a taller skeletal structure resulting in heavier and larger bones. On average, males possess 50% more brute strength than women, and men have a higher basal metabolism. That being said, women can withstand higher temperatures than men because their metabolism slows down less. Female lung capacity, meanwhile, is about 30% less than in males. And finally, certain autoimmune diseases may occur predominantly in one sex, with a prime example being the fact that 90% of primary biliary cirrhosis cases are found in women, whereas primary sclerosis cholangitis is more common in men. So, what are some male and female differences you've experienced in your life? Anything you'd like to bring to light? Let us know in the comments below, or tweet your answers to us at List25.
I like female cats more than male cats.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. Maybe I'm biased.
Yeah, probably. Don't you only own female cats?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're a study.
Whoa.
Oh, sorry.
Gonna have to bleep that.
You are? That's a terrible study.
Yeah, I guess.
My bad.
I guess so.
Yeah, no, you don't count.
I can count.
No. That's a horrible scientific method.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Well, what about you? Is there anything you'd like to bring to light?
Yes. But we'll have to cut it.
Oh, well, then don't say it.
I just like how, yeah, these might be the norms, but it doesn't mean that it can't be. Like, when it was like, men can remember dates like mortgages. Dude, I'd forget that in an instant. I have ADHD.
True.
So all of these are just kind of the average, but it doesn't mean that that's where they...
And it's okay for men to cry.
No, it's not. We're Superman.
Superman can cry.
I've never understood that.
And I like being hugged. Not by you. Not by you. Okay. Oh, God. That was awful, but really nice at the same time.
Manly.
Yeah.
Oh, that cracked. Wait.
So did my back.
Wait, hold on.
Don't do that.
All right.
I hate it when you do that.
I know.
So why do you do it?
Yeah, because I need to.
Okay. All right, well, that's that. Bye, guys. This is our green screen.
Oh, are we just gonna are we gonna drop it?
Oh, yeah, it'll be dropped by now.
Oh, good. Fantastic.
Because it's so nice. I want them to see how
That's nice.
clean the green is. Clean green.
I painted it myself.
No, you didn't.
I did.
It's paper.
I painted the paper
It's paper.
that I painted.
No, it's...
Let me take credit for this. Why
Okay,
am I on
fine.
this side? I hate this. Enjoying our lists? Be sure to click that subscribe button on the bottom right and the notification bell so you don't miss out on new ones every Monday through Friday. Share them with friends and help us consistently conciliate curiosity. And if you want even more lists, check out these videos here or just head to our website at list25.com.